Welcome to the Grayhammer Presents Semantics podcast. I'm here with my guest Ryan and Luke in the bottom. And
Hello.
We're here to talk about all kinds of nerdy things, from Warhammer to movies to historical battles to character clashes. We just have a whole bunch of just different topics we want to do, and I think it's going to be really fun. And we're going to start it off with an icebreaker where we each share kind of our fun fact of the month. And so mine is going to be, have y'all guys heard about pharyngeal jaws?
Pharyngeal jaws?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one. A pharyngeal jaw, eels have this. It's a secondary jaw inside of the mouth that actually comes out of like the mouth. Like in the Lord of the Rings, the Watcher in the water, when it's like face kind of
Okay.
It's almost like that, where it's like a secondary mouth. You've got the main jaw, a secondary mouth that kind of comes out, helps grab things. Also, in addition to that, things like parrotfish have that. So it's just a interesting animal fact of the month. Ryan, what's your fact of the month?
Mine's unrelated to animals, and I actually came across this one today. The island territory of Bermuda has no natural fresh water above ground. So for hundreds of years, since it's been heavily civilized, they've had to rely on rainwater only for their fresh water, and it's actually legislated that they have to catch 80% of their runoff per civilian's roof for public use.
Cool. I think Malta has something similar to it, where they had to do these. For a long time, they just had to bring rainwater or bring it in from Greek territories, but then they were able to dig these deep cisterns that...
Yes.
Yeah.
Recent developments have allowed them to find, I think they're called lenses, underneath lime tables, where they've got underwater freshwater resources, as well as ocean water, taking it through the osmosis process and purifying it.
That's interesting.
Right. Luke, what's your interesting fact of the month?
Okay, so my interesting fact is partially something you guys have probably heard of. You guys know the pistol shrimp, correct?
Yep.
And so the pistol shrimp, as you know, hits super fast, and it creates this phenomenon in science they called sonoluminescence. And essentially, it snaps so fast, in about 3 nanoseconds, it creates a bubble that is hotter than the sun and creates plasma. And again, only lasts for like 3 nanoseconds, I believe it was, but it's just so fast and so powerful that it creates that, and it's such a small animal. So that's really cool. I knew it was really, that's why it has the name pistol shrimp, but I didn't realize it literally created plasma around the bubble that it creates.
Nice.
That is super cool. So we are going to move over to Warhammer. If we can share the screen. And guys, we're going to be improving our technology as we go along. We're using Discord now, but we're hoping to improve that. But yeah, right here.
We'll be talking about Warhammer today.
Yeah. So this week we had a new rumor engine, and it's the one on the far left here, and it 100% looks like a coatl.
Agreed.
I
don't. Unless it's another Primaris Lieutenant, I don't know what else it could be.
Could be one of their staffs.
It could be an Exodite. You never know. They like to rage bait us Seraphim players sometimes.
What is an engine for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, so the rumor engine is something that basically Warhammer will reveal. Each week, they reveal a picture of a part of a miniature, and then basically later on in the cycle, they'll reveal the full miniature, but people are left guessing as you go along what might this be. And sometimes it's like months in advance, sometimes it's like just a couple of weeks. But what I did is I went back and I looked at two others that could maybe be other Seraphim models, hinting to a Seraphim book coming out in the near future, hopefully. They are one of the only factions that does not have a book right now, and so the chance of them getting one is getting higher and higher. So here we've got a feathered tail, which is a heavy motif in Seraphim. We've got this mouth. I'm less sure on this one. It honestly kind of looks squig-like to me almost.
Yeah. I was going to say the one on the right is the only questionable one. It could also be some sort of maybe like I think cave monster when I see it.
Yeah, I can get that vibe. It does kind of look like a Carnosaur Jaws, I will say.
Think
I
so?
would refute the squig statement. I think because two things: the squig's tongue would probably be sticking farther out, and it wouldn't have that clear of a chin. You'd start to
That's
see the
true.
body at that point.
That's true. But I think some squigs have snouts, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
a little bit. There's those couple like alpha ones, right? That like kind of look more
They
like this.
they did get pulled because they were not official. They were was it Warforge?
Ah.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
it does
that's
kind of.
interesting.
I
if
don't
I'm
know if I
remembering
can
correctly.
show it off here. This is the
Oh, it
jaw.
does kind of.
It
Yeah,
it's weird because I don't think the Carnosaur needs a new model, so it would be a little weird if we got one.
I will. Okay, so I do have a question on that. When was the last time a Seraphim book came out? Like, how long has it been?
Whenever it was, I think it was the book before fourth edition launched. So a year and a half to 2 years, I think.
Okay. They are in fourth edition pulling a lot of models. Like we've seen a lot of armies lose models.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
Corn, which is what
Uh,
Ryan plays, has lost a lot
Yep.
of models.
Seraphim
Stormcast
did too.
Eternal has lost almost everything.
Yeah.
That I mean, when I played in second edition, there's like nothing almost. There's just a few models. So
Yeah.
they could be replacing it. I mean, I seeing how the graph is going, and I hate to say it, but the Carnosaur could be one that's going.
Or being
Could
replaced.
be being
I think
replaced by something.
Carnosaur is something that you have to have for Seraphim. I don't think they pulled two miniatures for Seraphim. They pulled the Saurus Sunblood, which they then sort of returned with this guy. And they pulled the Eternity Warden, which they have not returned. So I was wondering,
Deeply.
the Eternity Warden could be making a comeback. He could have the Coatl Familiar with him, because he is often the bodyguard of Slans. So Slans often have a Coatl Familiar, so maybe a more interesting Saurus hero could be in the works. Or they're doing a full Total War Warhammer 3 and giving us a Coatl model.
And that's what I was gonna kind of investigate on is that is just a feathered serpent right there. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it almost
It's,
in its entirety.
yeah, and they do have that model.
It is not the Coatl.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is a Coatl. It's not a full grown Coatl. So
But what
for
I'm saying
example,
is that's not a release of the Coatl Mini, obviously, because
no,
that's
no, no.
if they were gonna give you one.
Here's another option. It could be a manifestation,
Ooh, that could be fun.
because
Yeah.
Seraphim do not have their own manifestation lore. They could even have like a summoned Carnosaur head or whatever.
Well, that'd be kind of fun too.
It's
Thinking
so
the like swarm of bats
yeah.
mini,
So you have like a
like the
swarm of
overworld swarm of bats.
lizards and some Coatls mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Um,
like, I feel like very fitting too for the Seraphim.
Yeah, the feathered tail I think could belong to a Coatl, but it does look like it has some spikes along the back, so I'm not sure about that one either.
Mm-hmm.
But a creature with a potential to have bound spells is something that is certainly very potentially interesting. I don't know how that would work. I don't know if any units really have bound spells that aren't really like wizards.
No, well, I can't speak to it too heavily, but I will say, I mean, Horn does implement some things that allow them to unbind or affect spells and prayers on beasts and on specifically flesh hounds, right?
Yeah.
So it's not outside of the realm of possibility for a non-hero, a non-character
To do
to
some
have
magical.
some sort of interaction in the hero phase with casting.
Yeah, I don't think unbinding would be the way they would go with coatls.
Probably not.
It would. I'd be very interested to see. What they could do is they could make it have the arcane vassal, because one of the things that they did do in third edition, I think it was, is that the troglodyte. So, for those who do not know, the Slandstar Master can pick a skink wizard within 18 inches of him, and he can measure spell range from that wizard, once per turn.
So he's like linking to them.
It used to be all of their spells they could link. Now it's once per turn, unfortunately. At least the way I read it. What you used to be able to do is the Troglodon ignored the 18-inch ability. Is if you had the Skink Oracle on Troglodon, you could use Arcane Vassal from anywhere on the board attached to the Troglodon. So something like that for the Coatl would kind of make sense and give it that magical vibe, I think. Any thoughts more on what Seraphim models this could be hinting towards?
Dreadsaurian's a little bit too wild of a swing for that one on the right.
Yeah, I feel like you need a bigger mouth, more teeth. As,
it's definitely something a little bit more like, I don't know, bulldog nose looking. Yeah. Ryan, I did just have a thought, and for anyone who's curious, we've all been friends for a while, and Tommy got us all into playing Warhammer, and he is notorious for being able to pull rules out of thin air. And I was just wondering, do you think he got lucky by choosing Seraphim because they do have some weird rules, or do you think he chose Seraphim because they have weird rules?
I picked them for rule of cool. I'll tell you that right off the bat.
I think he got lucky. Because you know good and well he was going to go for the dinosaur faction, the lizard
also,
faction.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
When I started playing them in first edition, they were maybe the worst army. They were so bad.
Well, there's apparently a developer who was like, we're going to give them the weirdest rules that just link onto each other and make the most outlandish things. Because if you ever want to know what it would be like playing Grayhammer or Tommy in a game of Age of Sigmar, is he's sitting there and then all of a sudden he goes, well, actually, I have this rule that does this. And if I do this, then I can also do this. And also, because these units are within 6 inches of each other, they can do this. And Ryan can attest for me, it is like that every time. And then you're like, there's no way. And then you get him to show him the rule book, and it's in there.
Wouldn't write a rule like that.
Yeah, and then for some reason there is. Someone wrote a rule, and you're like, how? And then he'll bring another list the next time you play him, and it'll be completely different. And you're like, what the heck? My army has one rule like that.
To his credit, he's good enough at it that he doesn't just do it in Warhammer. It's also a D&D thing.
For sure. I would agree with that. And
you like your sneaky D&D builds.
Yes, and also
it's not my fault that Todd gave me a magical weapon that
gave you a magical weapon perfectly tailored to make you annoying to try and power scale enemies against.
He made me an absolute chainsaw.
That is another thing we should mention, is that we actually have a fourth podcast member who couldn't make it tonight.
True. Yes. We should mention that.
Meant to bring that up.
That's true.
It is his anniversary, so he's getting to celebrate that with his family. But next month, hopefully it'll be all four of us. Ed will be able to fully nerd out, and he'll probably be upset about every take that I have. Probably every take that every single one of us has.
For sure.
He is going to be a wonderful color commentator and bring that last little bit of pizzazz to it.
For sure. And him and Tommy have polar opposite views on a lot of things, and it's very funny. It's very funny.
All right, so if you can go to the next slide, we're going to talk about this battle that we have. Or no, we're not. We're going to talk about Warhammer minis.
So kind of wanted to show off Sorry, but kind of
No,
wanted
you're
to
good.
show off things that some of us has painted, and I think this month Tommy was the only one that has stuff painted, so this is something that he did.
Yeah.
Tommy, if you want to talk about it, sorry.
So this is our Agrodon Lancer. I've got one painted out of the three. I got it for Christmas, I think, 2 years ago. So, fine. No, yeah, it was probably 2 years ago because it was when Seraphin got their book. They got this new model range. Um, if you can go to the
In
next slide, we
true
just got
Games
some new.
Workshop fashion.
Yeah, so they're gonna roll horribly on our game tomorrow because it's a newly painted miniature.
Obviously.
So these guys are really cool. I'll talk more about them when we talk about our list in the next. And then we've also got this, which is a hero. It's it's a 3-man hero squad, which is interesting. Luke
Never made any sense to me.
Luke has seen these guys' wrath firsthand, or it's not really their wrath that you got to worry about. It's the fact that they just kind of make everything around them tanky.
Yeah, these guys were literally the least scary thing in your army, but they made everything else the worst thing in your army.
So they give out a nice little bubble of ignore the first damage taken in each phase, and they themselves ignore positive and negative modifiers to their save. So they are incredibly difficult to deal with.
And Ryan,
And
just so you know, I had to fight this near his terrain too, by the
Oh,
way.
Yeah. See,
Because
I
he
almost
obviously
go-
can put it in the middle of the map, obviously, in the middle of all 4 objectives that we were playing with.
This is why we need Todd to pick up Sons of Behemoth so we can just go and stomp it. Just
Can they
kick it,
crush
stomp
terrain
it.
like that?
everything can
Wonderful.
attack terrain, by the way. In the new edition,
That
if
is-
you have
yes.
faction terrain, it counts as an enemy model.
Yes, I did notice that when going
How
through
many
the
health
altar,
points does
It has
your...
15 health, 4
more
up
than a
save.
skull altar.
Dude, I
That
could have
is
been
more than-
firing on that the whole game.
I guess you could have, yeah.
I honestly didn't know those rule. I kind of like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It can
That
be
is-
used
it-
very
it gets-
Fourth edition
cheesily.
thing?
Oh yeah, you put it in the center of the map.
Well, you have to put
You
it
need-
in your deployment zone, 3 inches away from enemy units, or 3 inches
Good.
away from objectives and terrain features.
Yeah, which was in the middle of the map for our game.
Yeah, it was a small table board. It's not nearly as strong on a larger board.
yeah. I gotta go to the next one.
All right, now into our little handy dandy. This is our battle plan. I asked Todd if he wanted terrain in any specific area, and he didn't really give me any information. So we'll do it live tomorrow. Basically,
This
Four-
is 4.
yeah, we'll have these 4 territories for 4 players at 750 points. Tomorrow night. Very excited for this. And basically, as a way to counter Ryan, because last time we did a free for all, Ryan just sat in his corner and waited for me and Todd to duke it out.
That
is exactly
Hold
why
on.
he did this.
There is literal video evidence on this channel. I did not sit in a corner. They just ran at each other away from me, and I had to chase them for 2 battle rounds. Let it be known. There's a video. Go watch the video.
Go check that out. Grayhammer 1 YouTube channel.
Fact. But because of that, we have scaled the battle round scoring for the objective. We're not doing battle tactics.
Anti-Ryan.
We're not doing battle tactics because we just honestly are still learning 4th edition. I really do like the battle tactics from what I've seen. It looks very interesting to me.
Agreed.
You build it with your army, which I liked way more than the start of 4th edition where you had to pick it each one of your turns. And you could only pick the battle tactic once per game, so you were trying to figure out what you could get, and then it was honestly a mess. That was really annoying. But battle tactics seem great. think we're still learning. We're still using Scourge of Gyran rules because we didn't get to play with those at all. So that's going to go into our list, which I guess I can start it out. I'm going to talk just a little bit about my army. So we have we get to pick an asterism as Seraphim, which is basically has been changed quite a bit within the past month. It used to be on the third battle round you could try and fulfill your asterism. Now it's by the second battle round you can start fulfilling those and stacking them, which is really, really strong. I think it was a huge change for us. It was probably the biggest thing that they could do to balance Seraphim up a little bit, because they were at a 42% win rate for a while there. Pretty much everyone was just bringing the Raptidons. But I'm taking the Thunderquake Starhost to give my monsters an extra 2 health. I'm bringing 2 monsters in this list, so an extra 4 health may not be the most cost-effective when compared to the one that allows you to do their pile-in with your Saurus or Croxicore. Because I have 3 Saurus units versus 2 monsters, but the extra health is still probably going to be helpful. The general is the Saurus Old Blood on Carnosaur. I did not go for the Soggy Carnosaur, the Scourge of Gyran, because it's 320 points. I've been watching a lot of battle reports. Everyone calls it that. Every single person in the world.
I'm familiar with this.
Why do they call it soggy?
Because it's Gyran. It's infused with life, which obviously means it's soggy.
I don't see that, but okay.
Basically,
Obviously,
it's a Carnosaur that gets ramped up to 100. It's this Carnosaur that actually does damage, unlike this Carnosaur. So this Carnosaur is on those 4-ups. But I have a command or a monstrous trait that allows me to get +1 to hit on my companion weapons.
Obviously.
And then he has the and that's from the Scourge of Gyran. So after this battle, and a battle I'm having with Ryan, we are going to cut the Scourge of Gyran rules, and we're Scourge of Akshi officially. But he's got Being of the Stars as his command trait, making him ignore positive and negative modifiers to his save. It's a good one against really high rend armies, but it also sticks you with a 4-up save, which just, it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
But he also, to kind of negate that, if he is able to survive more than a turn in combat, which it's honestly, if you don't finish off someone in combat with a Carnosaur, a lot of the times you just lose the Carnosaur, in my experience. But if he doesn't die, in any hero phase he can heal D3. I did kind of tailor this for a 4-person match, in that technically in any hero phase he'll be able to heal. So is it cheesy? A little bit, but yeah.
So cheesy. You'll get basically 4 heals in between your turns.
3 battle rounds, 43.
Yeah, and in my hero phase I can heal him again if I roll well on one of my things. Sunblood Pack is this is the second hero that I brought, trying to make that Carnosaur not only have that 4-up save, but ignore 1 damage per phase. So it's a lot of this is buffing the Carnosaur to try and make him useless or useful.
Holy Within?
It's Holy Within 12. So the problem is that they are the slowest. So I will have to figure out if I want to go my asterism that gives me an extra 2 inches on my move. The problem with that one is, as good as it is, you have to, by the second battle round, have an enemy general in combat or destroyed. So you could do that in the third or fourth battle round, but it's unlikely in the first one, so a lot of people don't pick that one as the first one, though it is the one that's like, get you into combat. So we've already discussed their rules, so we won't go too in-depth with them. Then we've got the Agrodon Lancers, which we showed off earlier. They hit hard. They have very odd rules for what they do. In that they hit like a truck. They're they have a 4-up save and they have 5 wounds, so they don't stay alive for super long. And their ability is that the longer they're in combat, the more attacks they get. Basically, if you end your turn in combat, you get a rage token, gives you an extra companion attack. If you are ever in the turn not in combat, you lose all rage tokens. So they are not tanky, but they're supposed to stay in combat for a long period of time.
Gotcha.
So that's... And the good thing about the Soggy Carnosaur is he made it so that Agrodon's Holy Within 12 did not lose their rage tokens at the end of the turn. So that's why... But he's an extra 120 points, and that's just something I couldn't really fit into the list.
120 additional?
Yeah, so he would go to 320. But he gets like one extra of each companion attack, and I think he gets an extra spear attack, so he hits a lot harder. He gives out a good buff, but I think he loses his shooting attack, which...
yeah, it's just maybe you can't justify the cost in a 750 list.
Yeah. The next one is one that I can justify the cost, because this is a monster that cost 150 points, and that's the Engine of the Gods. And it was just kind of this morning that I realized that healing is great, but his other ability is also really good. So basically, he's a big monster. He's got a good amount of wounds, so 16 with the Thunderquake Star Host. And he's got a crazy ability of the Cosmic Engine that you get to do in each hero phase. You can either bank the power, or you can use the power. If you bank the power, basically you get a Cosmic Power token, and you get to add that to the roll of if you're using the power. If you're using the power, you roll 1d6. On a 3-up, you could heal D3 to all friendly Seraphim units wholly within 12. On a 5-up, you can pick up to 3 friendly Seraphim units wholly within 12 and return a slain model to their units. And on
Just
a
so anyone watching knows, this is exactly what we're talking about. Because you'll see when I get to my list, I'm gonna share like one thing. Like I have one rule that I can use, and this man's been talking about his rules for the past 5 minutes. So if there's anyone watching, if there's anyone watching and you want to fact check this man to make sure.
He's also, so Tommy, to be clear, you've cheesed away to heal up to how much in a battle round on that Carnosaur?
Yeah, what's the heal max? Up to 5d3 plus. If I wanted to, I could rally if he's not in combat.
So you could
5d3 plus a potential 6, but
21
because it would be 6 dice at 4-up.
Potentially over 1.5 is its max health.
Potentially.
The average, yes, admittedly, the average of 5d3 is what, 10?
Yeah. So his max health is what, 12?
16 with the Thunderquake.
And so you're statistically almost guaranteed to get more than half of that each time.
If he stays alive.
How would he not die?
Found our villain of the 4-man fight.
He's just trying to
in this battle, honestly, the thing that can probably kill him the fastest is Iron Guts.
Yeah, it's not going to be me.
Yeah, but see,
y'all are both built for sustained combat.
And here's the thing also. We love Todd, but he's going to send Iron Guts on a mission probably completely unrelated to what it's supposed to be doing.
I didn't get to the last one, which is on a 6+ on the Engine of the Gods.
Oh, there's more. Hold on. But wait, there's more. But
it's a 6-up on a 1 dice. So.
And what does it do?
So you pick up to. You pick up to 3.
Drops a nuclear bomb.
3 friendly Seraphim units wholly within 12. They get strike first for the rest of the turn.
That's crazy. There it is.
Strike first. Now I will say. No, never mind. There's one central objective. So yeah, 3 wholly within 12 is just fine.
Yeah, no, in this battle report that this battle that we're doing, it's heavily. Now I do think that this is a pretty good bring to almost any battle, Because if you're bringing it with Croc scores, you can return models to their units. Agrodons, you can return models to their
A lot
units.
of value.
A lot of value in bringing back a 6 wound infantry on a 5-up. And if you harness it in the first battle round, it's on a 4-up instead of the 5-up.
So this is kind of
Want to grab
interesting.
too much.
I fed an AI agent our battle with all of our lists just out of curiosity because I was trying to train it, and it did say that the Seraphim army was the biggest threat by far.
It's because
So, just so we're all clear.
I am the
I don't want to
fastest
say
army.
I agree with AI, but I think I agree with AI.
Well, I mean, it's just reading off facts. It's like it literally says its rules are it has the most. Tommy's list is the most cohesive and has the best rules. Like Seraphim in 4th edition, competitively at least, which none of us are competitive, but it competitively is one of the best armies. So
It does pretty well. Usually, competitively, what people are bringing just for a fun thing is Lord Croak, which is crazy. Would not expect Lord Croak to be meta.
Doesn't he just revive everything though?
He can revive himself, but he also could die if he takes 3 damage. He's very finicky. Lord Croak, I'm trying to remember what the other thing was. It's not monster heavy. 4 spells, 4 spell slots.
4? Is there
Plus-
anything else that is 4? There can't be.
Oh yeah, Nagash has 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teclis has, I think, 4, but he also just can auto cast stuff. Thought Teclis is just
the deity characters.
Yeah, but I also feel like those are like the only things that exist in those armies. Like Seraphim, you can or cannot bring Lord Croak, and you still have a million different ways to be OP. Anyway.
I'm trying to think
I
of
don't
what
want us to devolve too far.
I'm trying to think of what Lord Croak actually brings besides those spells. It's really just he can nuke things around him.
Action Carnifex.
Sorry, what's that?
On the potential that's the distraction Carnifex on the potential that you actually aren't killing him.
He actually has a pretty decent shooting attack, but it's 1 attack. It's one of those 1 attacks.
Really?
Yeah. D6 damage.
Yeah.
It's where he picks up the mask, looks
profile.
at. Yeah, he picks up the mask, looks at you, and you could die.
And it's ugly. So.
Yeah. It's a dead
It's
toad.
so ugly that it hurts.
Ryan, would you like to go over your army list?
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Okay. So 750 points. I'm going with the Bloodbound Warhorde, so I decided to stick with almost exclusively mortals on this one. I think the durability, the survivability with the better armor saves is going to be just a safer bet going against 3 other people. And the one with Tommy, I'm going mixed because I can kind of keep track of things a little bit better. I can account for just his actions. But we're going to have a Deathbringer. I've not used the simplified Deathbringer since the Aspiring and Exalted ones kind of got merged. I'm curious to see how he does. And he's going to have the Magical Scorn command trait. I went with pretty simple command trait and artifact. So we've got Magical Scorn, and then I've got a Blood Secretor with the Collar of Contempt. The idea is to kind of actually make them not targets, because if I kitted just the Deathbringer out with the most aggressive options, then he would be a far more valuable kill. So now it's good to have the Magical Scorn, good against wizards, but it's not crucial if I lose it. That's kind of the idea there. Like I said, I got the Blood Secretor. He's buffing station, and then he'll have a once per game increase the number of attacks across the board. I've got 1 unit of Blood Warriors, base unit 10, and I have a unit of Skull Reapers. Both of them are there for, like Tommy mentioned and he observed correctly, they're there for staying power. They are there to march to an objective, get in combat with an opponent, and then just win and still be there. Now, Tommy, I am thinking I do have 50 points left over. I had at the time not looked at the Scourge of Gyran or Scourge of Akshi, so I may tack on one of the one one of those mutations.
I feel like there's no
Um,
reason not to, right?
Yeah, if y'all are cool with it, it's not going to fundamentally change anything.
I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah,
I
whatever.
thought about it, but the Scourge of Gyran ones are free, and they're just better for my monster's traits, because the plus
Okay,
one to
gotcha.
hit on companion attacks are just better. Because I'm
I
at
do have to pay for
730,
mine.
I think. Yeah. And once I go to Akshi, then I have to pay for my monster's traits. But the Gyran one's
Gotcha.
for free.
And I do have Skull Taker, so he's the one exception to the Bloodbound. His plan is to just kind of around the map and start smacking down heroes, especially if there are any wizards or if there are any buffing stations. Which actually, Tommy, you are bringing the unit of 3?
Yes.
That hero unit of 3?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have the hero keyword?
They do.
Okay.
They are 9 wounds.
They may be shaking hands.
They are 9 wounds. Ignore rend.
I do have one caveat to something you said, Ryan. You said that your army is going to be, or one of your units is going to be marching into combat, but all of your units will be doing that because you have no shooting.
Yes. However, I don't have a priest staying back. Is kind of what I was getting at. So I've been going without a priest.
No blood priest? What? I don't think I've ever played you. You didn't have a blood priest. Thank God. Well, that's incredible.
It's been a little bit since they've made this change, but Blood Boil went from a mainstay, something that I could rely on, unless the dice really hated me, something I could rely on, to situational depending on the kind of unit that it's getting used against.
Okay.
Because it went to based on the number of models in the unit versus just that amount of dice getting rolled.
That could be fun.
And then,
crazy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was gonna say I was taking a look at Skull Taker Tommy. He does have
anti-hero. Yeah.
Not crit mortals.
You
Most demons do. His is rend.
Interesting.
So he does would that over like Shadow Tommy's rules of not ignoring rend?
No, I would still ignore that.
No, Tommy's would supersede that.
That's crazy. He does have.
So then that wouldn't be a good.
I think he at one point used to have the crit mortals.
Yeah, that
even through 3rd edition.
That's super weird because he's basically an upgraded bloodletter, right? Which do have crit mortals.
He's a named bloodletter, and yes, I know the bloodletter units do. I can double check if that got updated on the Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne. I haven't really looked at him much recently.
Yeah, he seems like
he's got the Bloodmaster Herald of Khorne has splitting hits.
Gotcha.
Crit.
So, I guess I was wondering because I was like, Carnosaur is my main damage dealer. I don't want to get him into Skull Taker because he's going to punch above his pay grade against heroes.
Correct.
But
yes, he's a good list.
This hero unit from the Seraphim seems to be pretty actually well adapted to bogging him down.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
I may not teleport to them. We'll see about that.
What is the teleportation rule? I'm trying to remember.
So that's just Skull Taker. It's basically a challenge to a duel. The Eternal Duel, Drawn by Blood. Pick an enemy hero that used a fight ability this turn to be the target. So this is at the end of the turn. And once per battle, mind you.
And it can be
pick an enemy hero. Yes, enemy hero unit that used a fight ability this turn to be the target. Remove this unit from the battlefield. Set it up again in combat with that target, but not in combat with any other units. So
if your hero is like surrounded by,
if he's got an entourage, I can't get to him.
I got you. I got
you. Told you that.
Well, it wouldn't really affect me.
We're gentlemen.
There's literally one way to play my army.
Turtle?
Anyway, oh yeah. Well, no, I would say turtle, but it is death ball. I don't really know how I can split off.
He
I tried
runs
it
to
against Tommy,
he runs to objectives and he runs to terrain features.
and I
Um,
can't die.
Yeah. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh. 2-up
Which
award.
I'll get in. Yeah.
Just
Also,
sneak
it's
peek.
crazy that we played so much second edition, and now it's like
Mhm.
completely changed. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm out of my element in fourth edition. First time playing it, and I didn't play as much in third.
Yeah.
I don't think I played a single third edition game,
Maybe
which is
not.
crazy.
Third
But
edition was
I can
weird.
talk. That's what everyone says. The fourth edition corrected a lot of stuff. Yeah, we'll see. I know Tommy and I played a little game, kind of bringing. I brought the same army I'm bringing with a little bit of difference, but I can go ahead and talk about that too.
Speaking
Um,
of,
yeah, I'm playing the Hellsmith of Hashut, the little Chaos Dwarfs. My battle formation, fourth edition term. You guys got to stop using the old and outdated, archaic term. It's battle formations now. I'm bringing Castigation Battery, which will give me one extra attack to my Hellsmith of Ashut war machines while they have 3 demonic power points. In case you didn't know, my army basically burns all terrain, literally in I believe, every hero phase. So this will also benefit me if we have a lot of terrain, because it is the keyword. Any hero phase, I can burn terrain, and every time I do, I get more demonic power. And then I can assign those to units, 3 being the max that you can have, and you get a buff in general, but this allows my war machines to get an extra attack essentially, which for one of them is kind of huge if I can roll my dice correctly, which I did not. I will say, Ryan, I set myself up so well against Tommy. Like, there was one linchpin, and as soon as it fell, the whole army fell apart. Like, literally, I got into combat with him and had so many opportunities for attacks. I rolled so horribly, like
It was
so
awful.
incredibly below average.
He
And
had
then,
a
like,
turn one charge.
and like, if it had done average, and I would have taken at least one, possibly two of his Croxagors out, the whole game could have changed. I rolled
Instead-
like all ones and twos.
And then they got
I
wiped.
think
Just
one
not much you can
hit,
do
and
at
then
that point.
no, I was just like, what am I supposed to do? And that was for, anyway. I'll get into what that was, but yes, that's my battle formation. My heroic trait is going to be an eye for weakness, which you pick a visible enemy unit with 18 inches, and until the start of your next turn, add 1 to wound rolls for the combat attacks made by friendly Hellsmith of Hashut units who are targeting that enemy unit. That's going to be super nice. The next one is my artifact. I wasn't sure about this artifact. Against Tommy, it was quite literally the most OP thing ever. It has to be used perfectly, I will say. But the artifact is Scroll of Petrification, and it can be used once per battle. You pick a friendly Hellsmith of Hashut unit, wholly within 12 inches of the unit to be the target, and for the rest of the turn, or until your next turn, this target has Ward 2 up.
But you can ignore their combat range.
Yes, you can't ignore their combat range, but
also
if
think-
you are holding an objective, it is very nice.
Yeah. I think we may have played it wrong because I watched someone else's battle report. I believe it makes it so that you can't attack. If you can confirm that or deconfirm.
Yeah, you can attack. It just says that no other non-passive abilities can be picked to be the target of friendly abilities, so you can't buff them any further after that has been cast. And then also it says enemy units can ignore the target for the purposes of movement, so you ignore their in combat.
Wait, yeah, say
Fighting
that.
is an ability, correct?
Yes.
So your passive abilities will stay active, will stay running. Your non-passive abilities cannot be selected.
Yeah, so
you cannot attack?
You cannot attack.
It's an ability.
Yep. That's
really dumb.
But you turn yourself into stone. You're hard to break, but you also aren't doing much.
Yeah.
It might still be well for holding objectives. Especially
it's great if you think you're going to
get
charged by the Agrodons or something like that does extra damage on the charge.
Yeah.
Make sh-
To be fair, I don't think that would have changed anything in our battle because I don't think they did any damage to you at all.
they did not. They may have killed one Kroxigor. Yeah, they
Maybe
did. They
if
killed
that.
one Kroxigor because I lost one model that game. It was
Don't say that.
Okay, you had to throw that in there.
He brought his most OP army, and I brought an army I've never played before. Just so everyone's clear. Just so everyone's clear. But yes, I still think it could be used good, especially in
Mhm.
this scenario where you're going to a middle objective and then you could petrify them. It could work. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on this army yet. I won't lie. It's
I think
yeah,
Are they fun to
you
paint?
may.
yeah, they're fun to paint. I do enjoy painting them.
From what I've
good.
seen, they're actually really, really strong. They're just
You
you need to bring one
more
of the big
Dominator
bulls,
engines,
and you need the big bulls.
and yes, the Demon Smith for sure. So for the list itself, I'm bringing one war. I don't know how to say it. I want to say Despo, but I've heard people say Despot. That sounds stupid. I think it's Despo.
War dude,
Depot.
short guy with a
And
big
that's-
hat.
Depot too. It's the big guy with the hat. He's got a magic green glowing
Oh.
sword. He is going to be my hero. He has the Demon Flame Glaive, which gives him crit mortals. His only special ability is you get to add 3 to the control scores of friendly Hellsmith unit, wholly within 6 inches. One cool thing, if you add a what's it called? The demonic
Demonic.
power point to him, his range increases 6 inches every time you add a point. So that's nice.
cool.
It does give him again, like Tommy said, the whole purpose of this army is to get somewhere and not lose it, essentially.
You and I are going to be butting heads a good bit.
Yeah. AI said I told it what my army was, obviously, and it said my best matchup was against you.
Everybody's best matchup is probably going to be against me.
Well, and the main reason I have more range and I can kind of keep you at bay. So
I actually think my best
Everyone
matchup is
has
against
more
Todd.
range.
Yeah,
what now?
everyone has more range than Ryan does.
That's true.
Everyone does.
And-
I'm not
This
going to
is true.
credit AI with that observation. I'm going to be real.
No, I thought it was funny. I that was actually my original plan was to shoot you down.
We'll
but,
say
you know.
my matchup into ogres is always dependent on who gets the charge.
Oh, that makes
always.
sense.
If he hits me with a charge and he gets any sort of
Could he
damage
charge?
off of the charge, he'll typically take the fight.
I would just be pew pewing far away. My next unit is a reinforced unit of Infernal Cohort with Heshutite Spears, which is anti-cavalry and anti-charge. I'll get +1 Ren to either one of those, which is super
Nice.
nice.
Luke
They
is
also have
maybe my hardest matchup.
Well, I did think about this. They do get they have a gong carrier and a musician, Ryan. Kind of weird rules, but essentially, let me read. If you use the rally command as a reaction, you remove the gong character and you get to make an additional rally roll of d6. It actually came in handy against my battle with Tommy. I was able to get I got like three units back or 3 models back, right? Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
But it's a once per
interesting.
game
I haven't heard
ability,
of
so
that before.
it's a token. It's. I wish it was just a once per game ability and you didn't need the token because it gets confusing with the token being there and trying to count up which models can fight.
Oh, I saw that model. Okay, that's what that was. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, he
Yeah.
he gets enhanced rallies basically.
Get enhanced
pretty cool.
rallies, and then for each demonic power point, you get 3 being the max. You if you have 1, you get a 6 up ward. A 2 is a 5 up ward, and then a 3 demonic power points. You get a 4 up ward if it's a spell, prayer, or any manifestation damage, and then it's just a 5 up still for anything else. Again, not nice. It did come in handy a couple of times against Tommy, just a couple of times. Next, I'm bringing a unit of Bull Centaurs. They're going to be nice. They get, if you charge, they get +1 damage, and any mortals or crits. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think you roll a dice for each model, and
if someone charges me, I pick a unit with an enemy unit within 1 inch to be the target, and then roll a dice for each model in this unit. Add the number of demonic power points this model has for each roll. For each 6+, inflict 1 mortal wound to the target. So if I have 3 demonic power points and I have 3 units, then I can roll 3 dice. If someone charged me,
I think it's if you
um,
charge.
Yeah, that's on your charge.
okay, okay, yeah. I was looking at the wrong one because the anointed sentinels are if you're charged, so I was looking at the wrong one. So yeah, if you charge, then you can basically have the chance to inflict mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Very rare, but whatever. Next thing is a Tormentor Bombard, which is also anti-cavalry and anti-infantry. This is gonna be my main shooter, and yeah, it is a war machine, so I will get that extra attack. And then lastly, I'm bringing a Dominator engine with immolation cannons, which is probably the best unit in my army, for sure.
2-up save. 2-up save is good.
2-up save.
I don't know how I killed that in one turn, but in one turn of combat.
At that point, I kind of just threw it at you too. It was towards the end, and I had already really lost, so there's no reason not to.
Though they are not bad in
demonic
combat.
power point. Huh?
They're not bad in combat.
No, and for each demonic power point, they get an additional move. They are very slow. That's their biggest downside. But you get an additional attack for every demonic power point, and they already have 5. And shots, and then 4 swings of the melee weapons.
You froze for a bit there, Luke. Sorry.
I was just saying that for each demonic power point, you add an extra attack to. It says of its weapons, so I assume that means of its cannons and of its pummeling strike. So then, if you have 3, you would go up to 8 shots and then 6 pummels, which is nice. 2 up, 4 up, D3 damage.
He also gets a special rule when he splits his attacks, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It's
you add 2 to the attack characteristics if you split the attacks.
But I think you have to put at least
2 free attacks if you.
Yeah, you have to put at least 2 attacks into each of the targets you picked, I think.
That's really cool.
It's strong.
Not to return too far to a previous conversation, but this just hit me. How in the world did the Blades of Corn keep the Korgorath, but get rid of the mortal hero on Juggernaut?
Cause
you're really sad about the Juggernaut.
Why did we do that?
You're really sad about the Juggernaut.
I'm ticked off about because the unit's still there.
The Korgorath is so good.
Crushers are there.
Everyone brings a Korgorath.
With his with his bone tentacle shooting attack that's 6 inches and there's like a 4-up, 4-up.
Yeah.
By the way, if you think about that, it's disgusting.
Oh yeah. Well, if you look at the model,
it's repulsive. Well, like that's most of Corn though, Ryan. I hate to break it to you.
Okay, it's not as repulsive as Nurgle.
No, that is a very low bar.
But it's on the floor.
Corn is gruesome. It's not repulsive.
That's an interesting thing. What do you guys think the worst 3 looking armies are? Nurgle has to be the worst, right? Like aesthetically.
The hardest to look at.
Hardest to look at. To me, Skaven is up there too. Skaven is hard to look at as well.
I like their new models. Their older models look awful. But I do like.
Yeah, that's fair. But
I like the Vermin Lords. I really do like the Vermin Lords. But the other models, yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, and that's kind of their whole point is that both of those are twisted.
Gross.
Yeah.
I
really don't like some of the aesthetics of the Lumina. They're not gross. It's just some of them look dorky to me. Their hats are heavy up here, and it just looks like they fall over.
It kind of looks like, and they might be similar design, but you know the Chaos Space Marines with those like huge helmets. It kind of has the same vibe. Maybe that's just me, but
Like,
this is
I think
like
I've got to give
you
my
see
third.
that.
that's gonna get caught
I've
on
got to give my
something.
third to Slanesh.
Slanesh is pretty tough.
Bad.
Just makes me uneasy.
Yeah,
It makes you uneasy, but like I don't think it's the worst.
I think
Corn is
Zinch is the
almost
coolest
worse.
looking of the Chaos.
Agreed. Corn, the
Ryan,
skulls and the
suspiciously
blood
silent.
is unsettling, but I don't know if it's the worst.
I mean, they ride. Okay, the mounts in Slanesh.
It's
Can we
awful.
also mention those?
No, we don't need to.
No.
That's kind of so like characters and individual like infantry models.
Their mortals
alone,
look really cool.
a little. The mortals are fine.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. But to be fair, horn mortals are not gruesome either.
They just have
Just
skulls
unsettling.
all over them.
I will say, and this is just me, I don't love the skulls, but I don't know if aesthetically, this isn't like, I think something that's sad to look at, and I have two answers. I'm trying to think which one's worse. One, in general, especially the older stuff, and I'm sorry, Todd, but Gloomspite.
Yeah, their older stuff.
It's kind of sad. But okay, in Games Workshop, this is mainly on them. You look at like their art, and it's so outdated looking. Like I feel like Gloomspite is one of the worst. Like you look at it, and it's just like I feel like since they made those, they've made everything more vibrant looking.
Yeah.
And Gloomspite, you look at it, and it's like super. Like it looks like one of my first paintings where there's no like highlights or anything, and you're just like, ugh.
That's fair. That's fair.
Ugh, gross. But
But
another
like
one would be Fire Slayers.
Yeah.
Kind of for the same reason.
The thing is, they're an
biggest issue with Fire
AOS.
Slayers.
Yeah, they have no range. They have no range. Actually, his Fire Slayer was the first model I ever painted.
Really?
Yeah.
Your first ever unit was a Fire Slayer unit?
Yep.
Hero.
Which?
Yeah, it was like a Grimwrath Berserker.
How did you get into Warhammer? Because you introduced us. Like I don't know if I would know it if you didn't show me.
Total War. I watched Total War playthroughs. Then I got on to watching many wargaming playthroughs. Then I was like, I could paint this because I was looking at my dad's D&D miniatures, and so I impulsively just went to Games Workshop, bought a miniature, and came home, painted it in one night, stayed up till like 2 a.m. It was awful. I did not know my dad's paint stuff. It was oil paints that I did not know what to do with.
Ooh, that's tough.
I was mixing
really
oil
tough.
and acrylic paints on stuff. It was. I ruined brushes.
I feel like I've seen a lot of your army, and I've never seen this Fire Slayer unit.
No, I
still have it
in the shelf. Yeah.
Is it something that you could show us real quick?
Yeah, bring it.
1 second, guys.
Okay. No, I want to see it. Let's see this bad boy. Because I don't think I've ever seen this one, and maybe I have, and I don't remember. But
he's always been there watching. Just didn't know it.
Just in the back, just a dwarf watching us all battle. I don't know what my first unit. Oh, my first unit was a Sequitur, a Stormcast Sequitur that I painted.
I got
quite a cool model that does not exist anymore.
Yeah, rest in peace. It's not the worst. I probably have some of my first or worse than that.
I've got some decent like tattoos on his back, and
did you touch him up at all, or has he remained the same since the first time?
Same.
Oh, nice. Huh.
No, he definitely looks funky because I didn't use primer. I probably used one thin coat. It was like you can see parts of gray sticking out in some areas, but.
Have you guys seen the new starter boxes that Games Workshop are pushing? They have like a Stormcast and a Space Marine version, and none of them have primer. You just literally start with like their main color paint.
Interesting.
It is very interesting.
Yeah.
My little brother got one, and I saw him like do it. And I was like, "That's weird." It is very beginner friendly. Like the pieces have like pegs, and they're easier to build.
Oh,
Um,
I hate those. These guys were the push to fit models, and you get gaps. You get gaps in
you
like.
do. I do understand their purpose though. If you've never done it before, I feel like it'd be a really good introductory way to be like, okay, because if I feel like if you hadn't shown me how to make some of them properly, I probably would have struggled. Like there's some tribal knowledge if you don't know how to put some of the pieces together when you're building. I think.
Yeah. I think we should move on to our movie segment, unless you got a final point. Also,
No, I was saying I think we would be
yeah.
coming up on the deadline or the time if we don't move along.
Also, if anyone in the chat has a question, just put like a Q before any chat, and we'll try and answer it. It could be fun. We'll try and answer towards the end. But
For
Luke
sure.
is gonna cover some movies that have come out this month. So what you
Yeah, so
got?
I thought it'd be fun if we talked about basically for July, since we just finished July, the movies that came out. And we've seen a couple of them. Some of them we can just share general opinion if we'd ever see it or what we thought of it, if we've heard anything. And then the big ones are going to be the ones we have seen. And we can go and talk. I say we start with those. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the
Spoiler
biggest one
alert. We're gonna
being
try and keep it as spoiler free as possible, but there's gonna be spoilers. There's gonna be spoilers.
Yeah, I feel like we should just go and say if you don't want to know
Rip the
anything
Band-Aid
about
off.
these movies, yeah, if you don't want to know anything about these movies, you might want to skip ahead exactly 7 minutes and 32 seconds. But basically, let's start with Spider-Man. We've all seen Spider-Man. I saw it
Yep.
this past Tuesday. You guys saw it a little bit before that.
Yeah.
But I want to know your guys' thoughts. How you would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's get that. Let's go around the room and share our ratings.
I think I go with 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Okay, Ryan.
I was going to say 8 out of 10 as well. Yep.
Okay, I had an 8.5 out of 10, but I'm curious why did you guys give it your scores, Tommy?
I felt it was really solid. I liked the more serious tone that it had than the other Spider-Man movies because I've really moved towards liking more serious, gritty things than the more flash a joke in everywhere. Though it was funny, it had genuine comedic moments. I didn't go away from it being like, oh my gosh, that was a really amazing movie. But it was one where I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I wouldn't watch it in theaters again, but I could picture myself buying it for like $15.
Okay. So you would buy it?
I would buy it.
That's fair.
I don't think I will, but I would.
Yeah. No. No, I think that's a good measure. It's like if we lived in a day and age where we still had DVDs, which some people might still, like, would you have in your collection? Because I remember being a kid and being like, oh, I want to buy this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would say I would. I would agree with that.
I would agree.
Yep.
I thought it was a really solid movie. Appreciated the scale of it. Kind of like Tommy said, we're not fighting cosmic galactic battles. We're in a neighborhood, more or less. New York City, but it's still brought down to what Spider-Man generally deals with. I liked the fact that we weren't just given a cameo, but can we rip the Band-Aid off? Can we just say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spoiler alerts, yeah.
Punisher was more throughout the story. He was actually part of it. He was impacting it more than just oh, hey, that's the Punisher.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Punisher, the TV show?
Oh yeah.
I've seen the first season.
Okay, I haven't, and seeing that movie made me want to go watch.
Very good. It's not Daredevil level in my opinion, but it's up there.
The only issue I had with the Punisher was as the movie went along, I think they over portrayed his comfort and started to make him a little bit goofier than he should have been.
I can agree with that.
Because he is a very serious character. I know that from the comics at least. Like he
Consistently.
is, yeah. Like he's
Consistently.
not. He doesn't
Even
make jokes.
right, even if he's being a softy, like he accepted a request for help, that's fine. But then by the end of the movie, he was we shouldn't be laughing at anything he says unless he says it dry and we're laughing at the irony of it, you know?
Yeah. No, I
Um,
get that. That makes sense. They kind of did the what is it? The Thor Ragnarok with him a little bit, where
little
everything's
bit,
a joke,
little bit. Yeah.
I think it was
Not
more
as bad.
tasteful than like not Ragnarok, but Love and Thunder. It was more tasteful than like Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder
Oh
was
gosh,
Oh,
everything was.
certainly.
There's nothing good about Love and Thunder though.
Certainly. Yeah.
There's a couple cool fight scenes maybe, but that's it.
no Gore. He was cool for the moments that he was by himself.
Well, then they made him a loser, and
Yeah.
I have a huge problem when they take really cool villains and water them down. That is, yeah. And anyway,
Luke, what was your take?
so yeah, I agree with y'all. I thought it was just exactly what Marvel needs. It's just a simple superhero movie. And I feel like they did a really good job of continuing his story because he pretty much just lost everything and it kind of tied in the whole like he was just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And that was really cool. And then you got to see like kind of how all of those things being a hero um played on his mental health. I really liked how you got to see like the true Spider-Man and how his hormones were changing and like how he was trying to find a balance between being Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I thought that was really well done the way they did that. It's also really cool how we saw the real Hulk for the first time and
Hmm.
since like what pre-Infinity War, like
We saw him like
that.
in the beginning of Infinity War, but got kind of trounced by Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that wasn't really Hulk. Like he literally turns in, he jumps Thanos. Thanos grabs him and then like throws him
Yeah, it's a
into the
character
portal.
building scene. It's not
Yeah,
Hulk's time to shine there. It's just
No,
exactly. And I would even say like that was the first time we saw Hulk like actually as Hulk since the original Hulk movie. Because even in the Avengers, he's kind of like, he's this smashing machine, but he's just kind of a joke. Maybe in Age of Ultron, when he's like
yeah.
Iron Man has to fight him with the
hmm
Hulkbuster armor. Maybe that was the
Yeah.
last time we really saw Hulk, in my opinion. But I thought it was really cool. Like there was a part of me, like when he showed up, I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Like I remember thinking, like, oh, this is probably a bad situation. Um, I don't like how the very end, again, spoiler alerts, but how Ned seemingly remembered him, but MJ didn't.
That was odd.
That took off a whole point for me. I was like, why can't we
I
just
did count that against them. Yeah.
yeah, why can't we just make it to where she remembered too? I feel like that would have been really cool. Maybe not as cliche as a kiss, but
I
like
say Disney kiss doesn't work, but a handshake does it.
yeah, that was exactly my thought process. That literally I was like, oh, that's kind of lame, but
Well,
Unless,
she
and I want to give
she
them
was
credit.
possessed when she kissed, so could she doesn't remember that,
that
so
is
True.
there
you
you
could
bring up a
try a
good
second
point.
time.
Maybe they have to actually kiss.
I was gonna say unless he isn't remembering then. He already did remember because there have been some fan theories about Ned's character in the future. Some people have proposed that he's meant to be Hobgoblin.
I mean, that's comic
So
book accurate, so
right, I don't know how much they're gonna do with in the MCU. Is my point, but
yeah.
um, I think there is a chance that maybe he, through investigations, through finding out it was Peter Parker, actually realized sooner, remembered sooner, and then had been playing it off and
Hmm.
remembered during the handshake.
Yeah, my only so I'm pretty sure they confirmed that the Goblin doesn't exist in his universe, and for the Hobgoblin to exist, the Goblin has to. Which I
Mhm.
mean, there could be reasons for that, but that would be my only like argument against it. is I heard someone talk about how he can't be the Hobgoblin in this universe because the Goblin
Green
doesn't
Goblin. Yeah.
exist. Yeah. Um. Anyway, that was my take. Again, I thought it was a good, solid movie. It was like the most excited I've been about Marvel coming out of it
Agreed.
in a while. Um.
I
Probably.
my thing that took off a point, um, is actually has to deal with the Hulk, and that is that we don't know why he's using his inhib. We had no explanation as to why he went from Smart Hulk to now needing an inhibitor. It felt like
Yeah.
they just added that so that they could do the inhibitor plot for the movie without explaining it at all.
Yeah, and we did see Smart Colt for a second in the movie as well, which was
Is
interesting. I don't know.
is
They
that
didn't
inhibitor?
explain that.
Is that tech from the previous Spider-Man movie? We think.
No, he
Um,
invented it.
yeah, because it says that
Well,
Hulk
because
invented it.
they inhibited everybody's powers. Remember in the previous Spider-Man movie. So I wonder how much of that might have made its way on pipeline. So
But
sorry,
then
full
why would he
disclosure.
not know how to do it for himself?
Which one are you
Oh,
talking
that's
about when
true.
he
That's true.
made
That's
it
true.
for Doc Ock, or because I think
Well,
those were a little bit different.
they were
I
more personalized. That's true. Yeah, they weren't a general tech. They were a
maybe the
specific
idea, but
remedy. Yeah.
because I don't think those were like gene altering or DNA altering like they were in the movie. Anyway, that I
No,
think
yeah,
that's
I think you're
valid.
right.
I don't think any of Hulk has really been explained, and it's really stupid. The whole rights thing, how they can't make a solo Hulk movie because Sony owns the rights, is it's blows my mind.
Also, where's Hulk's son? We saw him at the end of She-Hulk. Where is he?
That is a fact. Oh, maybe
Did we see
hopefully,
him at the end of She-Hulk? Some of us didn't see him. Some of us didn't see him at the end of She-Hulk.
and mainly
Some
because we
of us
didn't
did not
watch
make it to the end
She-Hulk.
of She-Hulk.
Some of
Yeah,
us wanted
I
to
think
see
they should
Daredevil and see
retcon.
She-Hulk and was not happy about it.
Maybe they should retcon all of She-Hulk. That would probably be the most accurate thing and better for everyone. But I don't know. Anyway, like I said, good movie. Next one is, and unfortunately, we don't have Todd to talk about this because Tommy refuses to watch it. But it is The Odyssey, probably one of the biggest blockbuster and talked about movies in a long time. I'd say. Brian,
I
what's
would
your
like to
rating?
say both the critic and audience score for those on Rotten Tomatoes are above 90%. They are above 90 or above
Yeah,
91.
I mean, it's a fantastic movie. I think the criticisms for it are dumb, personally. Like
So
the major criticisms.
my biggest olive branch to Tommy here is I think it is a fantastic movie. I
I
gave it an
can say it
8.7.
probably is.
I think it is a great movie. It is an acceptable Odyssey.
For me, the nobody thing, hearing that it does not have the nobody scene, was quite upsetting because that's a huge part of building Odysseus's character.
Yeah,
Yes.
It's one of the
I
most
get what you're
iconic things
saying.
from the Odyssey. I mean it, and Christopher Nolan said the
That's
pun
one
did not translate into English, and it's like
that is to
that.
say that is one thing that the time saving excuse doesn't apply to. I agree. There are some other things like you mentioned that they did not have the encounter with the Lotus Eaters. Um, Completely true. I believe the Lotus was the concept of it was introduced in the movie still, but yes, they missed some
Is that with
things
Calypso you're
because
talking about?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they
Yeah,
missed some things. You can't put it all into a 2 hour, 40-minute movie.
No, I just again my biggest issue is I don't like the art design. I just don't. It just
I,
doesn't appeal to me. It looks
I mean,
fake.
that's subjective, so we can't really argue with you there. Ryan, I don't know about you. I thought it was a beautiful movie. So nice to look at
I
personally.
thought it was very well shot. The armor, so Agamemnon's armor, I did not like the appearance of it in the day scenes, but in the nighttime scenes, I thought that it served its purpose fantastically.
That's fair. I thought
It
it
is
looked really
bulky.
cool.
It's bulky, and so it's imposing when it's a silhouette, when it's backlit, that sort of thing. So I liked it, particularly in the night scenes, and I thought it was eh, in the day scenes.
To me, like, and I know this is bigger, especially for Tommy, but to me, the armor, like, that's so minuscule of a reason for me to watch a movie. So I didn't really care that
It just
much.
The
looks
rest
like
of the armor did
sci-fi
not
to
take
me.
me out of it.
It just looks like a sci-fi suit of armor to me.
Maybe Agamemnon, like his could be. I mean, so y'all know the Astartes YouTube channel,
Yeah, yeah.
the two psychers that get stabbed at the beginning. To me, the armor looked like that, so I would agree that it does look a little sci-fi. That armor,
Yeah, I don't
like
quite
the
get
he,
the vertebrae out the back of the helmet. That also is
I don't
weird.
either. I thought I did. I was like, it looks really cool. I get it's unrealistic. I get it's historically inaccurate.
It
I
also
did
looks
think it looked
airbrushed.
really sick.
To me, that vertebrae looks
Well, don't
weirdly
you know the
airbrushed.
Greeks invented the airbrush?
It
They
just
invented it.
I
They're
will
the
say a
first
point
ones
to
who
the
shaded
positive.
it.
I did like the inclusion of the word this. They were discussing, and it got brought up a couple times. It wasn't part of the original Odyssey story, but it was part of Nolan's interpretation of it. The bringing about of the age of illiteracy, the age of darkness, the age of losing
Oh
Zeus's
yeah,
law, all of that.
I did think that was a good twist too.
Yeah, the narrative. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. That it was an additional underlying narrative.
Yeah,
I think
and
it was. I thought it was fairly thought provoking because it's like, oh, that it wasn't directly coinciding, like it didn't happen the next decade or anything like that, but
yeah,
it's
and
speaking to an era.
without giving too much, this one I'll try not to spoil, especially for Tommy, and if he does watch it one day. That part that you're talking about specifically, even though I knew the conclusion, I did not know how they would draw it out and be like how it applied. You know how
Mm,
at the end he was like, "This is me," pretty much.
yes,
Like we're the reason. I
exactly.
when that played out, I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty cool."
It
I
was a
thought
good
the
line.
same
Yeah.
thing. It was a good line.
also fun
The
fact.
last,
Oh, go ahead.
no, you got it.
So the shot where they shoot through the eye of the axe. This is just a fun fact. It's been theorized what it was. Is axes were probably not stored with the handles on them. So what it's thought is that it was the socket of the axe that goes around the handle that he was shooting through 12 of them.
Ah, that's neat.
Regardless, one of the sickest scenes in the movie. No one can ever convince me otherwise. One of the coolest fight scenes, I have to say.
Spears, get the spears.
Yeah, and he did, and Odysseus found them too.
Have y'all seen I'm
You
trying to
guys are
remember
locked in here with me.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he's a professional archer. I think it's like he does like D&D content a lot. He's the guy who does like how each D&D character uses a bow and like
I think I know who you're talking about. I don't know
he
his
did
name, but
he did a review of that fight scene in specific. He said he liked the movie, but he felt like that scene looked very awkward with the bow.
Mhm.
Because he had to keep coming back for his arrows. He didn't like bring it with him, and he just kind of his thing was he said that he had critiques. He said, I'm not holding this against them that they're using Western style archery instead of Mediterranean style archery, but he thought that fight scene was probably the weakest point of the Odyssey archery wise.
But it was really cool when a guy said, "Wait, you're Odysseus," and then got an arrow to the neck. Just saying. I didn't really care. Yeah, I'm sure that you could. Yeah. Anyway, well,
What other movies came out this month?
yeah. So I was thinking we could rapid fire these. I haven't seen any of these personally. If you guys have and want to talk about them, you can.
Not a chance
But
I've
what
seen
I
it.
was thinking, there are a couple I think from what I've heard really good movies. But what I was thinking is I could say the movie. You guys could give your initial thought if you think it'd be good or bad, and how likely you are to see it. The first one being Minions and Monsters.
Can't say that I'm going to see it. I'm sorry. I know that there's an
I
entire subculture, but
I would not go out of my way to see it. But if I am sitting down and it just happens to be free to stream, the Minion movies and all of the Despicable Me movies are actually really good.
It's a
They're
great
good
franchise.
movies. It's like arguably, I don't think they've missed on a movie.
I think you're right.
I'm just
I
saying.
don't think I've
They're
watched
like
all of
they're.
them, but they've been pretty good.
I,
Yeah.
you watch it and you're like, that's funny. Again, I'm not gonna go my way to see it. I would watch it if it was free and I had nothing else to watch. The next one is Young Washington.
Oh,
I have
I've heard nothing but good things.
bad things historically about it, but I haven't.
Ooh.
I've heard
What
it's not very.
specifically?
I didn't watch the review of it. I didn't, but it was. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Because I've heard it's very historically accurate.
I got a fire advertisement for it on like July 3rd, and that had me sold beyond actually, purchasing a ticket.
I'd like to
Yeah,
watch it.
I would like to watch it too.
I want to see
Yeah,
that review as well to break it down on historical accuracy, because that does matter in this film. That
Yeah, I don't know. So I haven't heard it's like perfect to the T, but like as far as historical figures I've heard it's better. The last one I can think of is Napoleon, and I know that was like a horrible historical inaccuracies. But I've heard
I didn't
Young
even know the
Washington.
historical accuracy. It just I just did not like that movie.
It was a bad movie.
It felt like a fever dream.
I've heard at least that Young Washington does a good portrayal of Young Washington. So I would also be interested to see this. The next movie is Evil Dead Burn. I would be surprised if anyone here wanted to see that really badly.
I can't even say I've seen a
Demonic
trailer
horror
for it.
movie.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. Then Moana live action. Again, maybe on a Friday night. I have nothing better to watch. It's on Disney Plus for free.
I want to laugh at The Rock.
The thing is, you live action the classic animated movies. I think the problem is they're running out of.
Oh yeah,
they're running out of
Moana's
ideas
too
to where-
recent.
That's what I'm saying. Is like the timelines are starting to close in a little much.
Yeah,
It's-
which maybe that means they're
it's crazy.
running out of live actions to make. Maybe.
Aren't they making a live action in Kanto as well?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That would be more interesting than Moana to me. I love Encanto.
Maybe, but still.
I haven't
too
watched
soon.
the whole thing,
Too
but
soon.
I would say it's probably more interesting than Moana.
I think we need a live action. You haven't seen all of Encanto? It's a great movie.
I've just seen it
We
at
never needed a
Avery's.
live action Lion King because it's still an animated lion.
But you could say the same thing about the Jungle Book movie, which I do like.
The Jungle
There's a
Book.
person in the Jungle Book.
Which one? I think
There
they're
is a
both
person
good.
in the Jungle Book. That's fair.
He's
I
kind of
liked-
the main character.
I liked both of them. I think what it was Andy Serkis directed the more gritty one.
hmm
I got the art style was supposed to look like Indian representations of the animals rather than the actual animals. I think because a lot of the
That's cool.
CGI looked funky. And if
Yeah,
you
but that
don't
was
know what like
intentional though, right?
Indian, I think so. I haven't confirmed that is in fact. It is more accurate to the story, that one. Whereas the Disney live action is more accurate to the Disney portrayal. I think the visuals and the songs are better in the Disney version.
Interesting.
Unless that was an intentional style choice, in which case it gets some points for being interesting. But I think a general audience would look at that and think it looks weird if they didn't know like what it was trying to depict.
All right. Well, let's rapid fire the ones that are upcoming. We can just say yes or no. You're gonna watch it, or you think it. Just yes or no. And do you think it's gonna be good or bad? Just off initial takes. First one is One Night Only.
I have no idea about that movie.
I see. I saw a trailer for it in preparation for this. It looks basically it's illegal to sleep with anyone unless you're married, and then one night only it's legal. That's what the whole premise of the
I
movie
ain't
is.
watching
Finding
it.
love in that one
Except
night.
for a different sin.
What's up?
It's the purge, except it's a different one of the
It's a
Ten
different kind
Commandments.
of purge. Yes. Yes.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Not
I'm not
So,
really interested.
No and bad.
It looks
I
like
can't
a dumb rom com, to be honest with you. It has the dude
Oh.
who's the brother of the main character from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
That was my cousin-in-law, who's the uncle of my nephew, and
I don't know his name. So you have the Fantastic Beasts. Y'all know that guy, Newt Scamander.
Yeah.
His brother, the other ginger guy.
okay.
Can't conjure
Can't
his
place
face
him?
in my mind
No.
right
All right,
now.
anyway.
All right.
Super Troopers 3.
What?
No, great.
That's what I was thinking too. Okay. This is a big one. The End of Oak Street.
I want it to be good so bad.
Yes.
I
I want it to be
s-
good.
Kind
Could
of.
potentially see it.
Yeah,
Next
Yeah.
one. Paw Patrol the Dino movie.
of
Great.
course I'm gonna see
100%.
it.
100%. And the last one is just an insidious movie. Again, demonic horror. Don't care.
I'm probably not going to watch it in theaters. Might watch it during spooky season, and it's probably going to be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horror
Um,
movie. They're not. There are a few really good ones, but for the most part,
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we move on to our next segment, and then I'll introduce it, and then Ryan, you tell us what it is. The segment
Okay.
is called Character Clash. What is Character Clash, Ryan?
So the idea is we're going to take two different characters, monsters, or units, troops from different franchises, different IPs, and we're going to try and match them up pseudo-scientifically, very analytically break down what would happen if they interacted, what would happen if they fought, and who might come out on top. If you want to start
Right.
us slides here.
Yeah, let me throw it up here. All right, introduce our two characters today that are going to be fighting.
So we will be fighting between Colossus, Earth 616. This is the original Colossus from the classic X-Men, versus the T-1000 Terminator. This Terminator is prominent in the second Terminator movie. So Colossus, metal strongman, big brother energy, and he's also a painter. Fun fact.
Didn't know
And
that.
the T-1000 Terminator, android from the future, like all of the Terminators from the first two movies. His main thing is being an infiltrator and assassin. That's the whole reason he's there. And I think he's a prototype for the Oscar award. Just throwing that out there. Can't confirm,
Interesting.
but that's it's a theory of mine.
That's
So,
interesting.
so breaking down some of their stats, Colossus, when in his transformed state, 7'5", 500 pounds. Calculated, I saw was between 32 to 36 miles per hour. I took it as the middle ground. And
Dang,
he
he's a fast
is
guy.
yeah, very
he is
fast.
entirely made up of organic osmium. So when he transforms, what happens is all of his organic, all of his body, everything that's organic, transforms into osmium pulled from a separate dimension.
Is osmium a real?
Osmium is a real thing.
It's not organic.
Osmium is not.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But so so it's not just. I always assumed it was just his skin. So it's everything.
Everything, and it all functions organically.
Or
So
yeah, it's an organic
his eyes
osmium.
actually see. His lungs are actually still inhaling and exhaling.
You may cover this, but I have a question. Do you know, is organic osmium what's like? I mean, without getting too like, what's its density? Is it pretty dense?
So again, it's a fictional material. I don't have the information on that.
7'5", 500
be-
pounds.
I wasn't
it
sure
can't
if
be
like
too dense.
Marvel or
I'm
someone
about
released
500
that.
pounds per 7'5"
I mean,
human.
hang on, let's see. There
It's
might be an
about
answer.
twice the density of flesh, maybe.
Did you
But
find it already?
Even then, in a human body,
I'm just
there's
saying
a
he's
vast
a big
range
guy,
of material densities.
at about twice what you would expect him to weigh at 7'5", probably.
More than
There
actually,
is an
that's less
answer.
than twice.
Marvel has
Hey,
an
there you go.
official answer. It is 22.59 grams per cubic meter. Yeah, you guys are the engineers. Tell me, what does that mean?
I'm an engineer in an American-owned company, so I don't deal with grams per cubic meter.
What? You don't? Come on, convert that real quick.
could, but it would not be quick.
It is more dense
versus
than
the
lead. It is
T1000.
about twice as dense as lead.
That's pretty
There you
dense. I know
pretty
lead is dense.
It is dense,
That's
but it's also
something
very
we
soft.
all know.
Lead is soft.
So his matchup into the T1 Terminator. Terminator's actually the problem with trying to pin down what Terminator's stats are is canonically it can actually increase and decrease its density along with its size. So its weight is meant to replicate the size of the person that it is imitating so that it doesn't affect its environment in a suspicious manner, like falling through floorboards and that kind of thing. So I'm taking the height and weight of Robert, person that is representing the T1000 is hiding as. So 6 foot even, 175 pounds, and he does chase down a vehicle that was assumed about
Absolutely.
40 miles per hour.
Question on
The composition.
that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You can finish that. I have a question.
The composition, he is entirely made up of mimetic polyalloy steel. Polyalloys are a real thing. Steel's a real thing. Mimetic polyalloy steel, not a real thing. So the mimetic polyalloy steel, every single molecule is composed of that. Every single molecule has individual molecular programming that the base program is simply recomposition. If it is fully composed, the intelligence of that material expands and it then can serve other directives. So moving on from the general stats, we have their offensive outputs. So Colossus, known to be able to output 100 tons with a punching force. He can maintain full exertion for several days as his body deposits fatigue acids at a far reduced rate. And this is one I did not know, but because he has a trans-dimensional binding or replacement with that organic osmium, if he's had that for long periods of time, for several days, whenever he releases the organic osmium material to the other dimension, it actually releases a psionic or ionic energy that can be harmful. The effects are not listed from what I saw, because the only person that was in the area to be affected was Kitty Pryde, who can become entirely intangible and thus unaffected.
So he literally just
T1000
explodes almost, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know the radius and I don't know the potential devastation.
That's interesting.
The T1000 Terminator can output about 35 tons of exertable force. That, to give credit to somebody on I think Wiki Fandom, they calculated the force it took to rip a T800 spine out of the T800, assuming the material and assuming the volume in cross-sectional areas. So credit to them on that. That translated to about 35 tons of exertable force. So not punching, that's actually 35 tons of pulling force. They have an active camouflage, and that goes down to, again, the molecular level. Can shrink and grow, but the entirety of the T1000 cannot turn into a small pebble or a cigarette lighter. It has to maintain a certain range of size variation. Now it can transform body parts into simple weaponry. It cannot create any sort of chemical reactions, so it can't create a flamethrower, nothing like that, napalm. It also cannot create complicated mechanical parts, so it cannot make a pistol. We're talking javelins, swords, knives, axes, that kind of thing. Like I say, there can shrink and grow in a limited range. It does have superhuman learning. Again, this has to happen with most of the molecules in place, or else it starts to reduce to its base objectives. And advanced reasoning, all of that goes towards it being an infiltrator and assassin. Defensive side of things, Colossus is a little bit more impressive, I would say. So he actually does not need to eat, breathe, or drink in any capacity. his temperature resistance falls between negative 390 degrees Fahrenheit, which, when looking it up, it was actually stated that he can survive down to 70 degrees Fahrenheit above absolute zero, um, up to 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And he is known to withstand howitzer shells, 450 pounds of TNT blowing up on him, large commercial vehicles crashing into him. Not all of those at the same time, so there might be something to that. And then the T-1000 Terminator also does not have to eat, breathe, or drink. It does not have a bottom temperature limit for destruction. It does, however, have a much lower temperature limit on the hot side of things, because it is shown to be destroyed in Terminator 2, falling into molten metal at a steel mill. And its defensive benefits are molecular reconstitution. So you can spread it across the world and they will eventually start crawling back together.
Am I correct in understanding that if he is reconstituting, he doesn't have a ability to really move much, or am I don't remember if I have watched Terminator.
It depends on how much mass was lost and is attempting to reconstitute. If it's a bunch of different pieces trying to come back together, he's not doing much. If it's a hand that got chopped off and kicked to the other side of the arena, he can still do stuff.
Gotcha. Makes sense. All right.
Their positive defensive aspects, their negative defensive aspects are Colossus can be damaged by vibranium, adamantium, magical and cosmic energies. Those are all listed as things that have been known to actually cause damage to him. T-1000 Terminator, it has a more, say, a human weakness to heat, but it is a weakness to heat that humans can apply, as seen in Terminator 2, molten steel. So he can be incapacitated at negative 346 degrees Fahrenheit. It does not destroy him, but it can stop him from being a threat as he's hit with liquid nitrogen, and that actually does freeze him and stop him from being able to do anything until he falls. And then he actually can be melted down or broken down by strong mineral acids. Hydrochloric acid is the specific example, but I think other mineral acids would succeed. Also, the FBI definitely has me on a watch list after investigating those things. Just throwing that out there. I'm like, oh, how do you make hydrochloric acid? So scenario 1, and for the record, there are 3 scenarios because I think that is a better display of the outcome. Scenario 1, simple arena. We're talking football stadium here. They don't have any additional weapons other than what they might carry on their person. In this case, it's nothing. And there might be some rocks, some columns everywhere around. This one we can pitch out to y'all's considerations, but I'm going to start it off with my thought is, in this scenario, there's nothing for the T-1000 to acquire information or weaponry that can harm Colossus.
Oh, so he has he has no memory of any weapons in this scenario?
No, what I'm saying is he can't acquire any adamantium, any vibranium, any cosmic weapons, any magical weapons.
Just a note, I looked it up, and a howitzer blast can be 15 to 30 tons, which we know that the Terminator can exceed, because if he's got 30 tons of pulling force, he's going to have way more force in a punch.
That is valid. Now, the howitzer, it's just known that he tanked a howitzer shell.
I was going to say
that he capped out at a howitzer shell.
That's one of the only things I know about him. Didn't he he didn't just take it and survive. It was like he ate it, right? Am I wrong?
It was ineffective.
He basically caught it, was like, what the heck?
Yes.
So we don't really know what his
upper limit is.
How long
can he extend his arm to a weapon? Because you said he can turn it to a weapon. Is the farthest it can go to his hand? Tommy. Okay.
It exceeded the length of the point of his hand. I was
going to say, because you can get a lot more leverage. I'm saying if he gets something with a fine point and uses his arm with leverage, then he's going to probably exceed the punch strength of Colossus.
Yes. He does, I believe, in a game adaptation, detach his arm. Well, he turns it into a javelin, detaches it, and actually spears a older model with it. And I did look that up. So what that older model was known to be pierced by, like human weaponry terms, is a 50 caliber anti-material rifle. So we know that the T1000 can at least output the damage of a 50 caliber anti-material sniper rifle, which unfortunately for it is, from what I looked into, not enough to take out Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one almost seems like a wash in my opinion because just thinking about it, it we don't. I would say the assumptions are what their upper limits are. Like we don't really know what either are their upper limits. We know the weaknesses of them, but since those weaknesses aren't really in play here, the T1000 can pretty much just tank. In my assumption, tank all of the hits
Right.
that Colossus can give, because that's what he's known for, right? Like he's gonna go in, he's gonna punch it like that. That's
Yes.
gonna be his attack.
He is
And
a moderate sword fighter. There are no swords, and that wouldn't matter. That's the only
yeah,
additional skills.
Swords don't do
I
anything
mean,
against armor. Unless you grab
especially
it by the
this.
sword
Well,
blade.
so
I will say I don't know how
I
much
will say
this plays an effect. Oh, go ahead.
the T1000 actually is not known for a resistance, because you can actually take rebar and slice into
Cut.
it with rebar. The fact is,
True.
it's a shifting material between a liquid and a solid. So because you're not damaging components, it's all individual molecules. Think of it like nanobots in a sense.
Yeah.
You can slice
Yeah.
into it and it doesn't matter.
So it's gonna
Yeah, you're
matter
not
if
killing it.
Colossus can splash it apart far enough to.
That is where I was going to go with it. So as the image itself shows, is impact does actually displace. And if we were to say that the boundary, this football stadium, outside of that is a permanent negative zone, right? There's a chance he could create such an impact, a concussive force, maybe even like a Hulk clap that could blast an arm off in time for him to get out the stadium. So he actually, I did also look this up. He has been known to throw objects up to a mile away. So he could remove things enough from the scenario, enough to start reducing the T1000's functionality. Not enough to kill it, but enough to render it
Okay.
incapacitated.
Are we thinking this is kind of a fight to the death? Because that would be,
Correct.
if it's a fight to the death in this scenario, I don't think either one kills another one. That
Yes.
I think bottom line, I really
Unfortunately,
don't.
I do agree.
Because again,
one other
go
one other
ahead.
fun thing I looked into was because it's steel on a metal, I was wondering if we would have a flint and steel situation here, and that with enough punching, he would actually generate enough heat from friction that it would start to reach the maximum temperature of the T1000.
That would be the only way he could win, I think, though.
So it might be possible, but each punch, if all of the friction is turned into heat energy, and all of that heat energy is absorbed into one of their two bodies, and all of that heat energy does not dissipate into the ambient temperature, it'll increase. Their bodies will collectively increase by 12 degrees per punch. The issue is
Then
because of the weight and the material types and the coefficient of
I
not the
feel like
coefficient,
Colossus is going to absorb a lot of temperature with that
the heat
density.
capacity. Colossus absorbs 93% of that generated heat, so he acts as a heat sink. The T1000 would not reach that temperature on its own for a long time. However, Colossus's fist might heat up enough that it is now acting as a mobile assaulting steel mill, melted metal thing.
interesting.
That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. That's the problem.
Yeah. Oh, oops. Scenario 2.
Pit scenario, and I can move through this somewhat quickly since we've got some of the interactions out of the way. It's an urban zone, so we're talking city limits only, but it does expand the arena. So, fun fact, I chose Indianapolis because it is considered the most average large American city in the country.
Nice.
There is
He was from
another
Indianapolis.
city. I wrote this one down. So it's not statistically considered the most average based off of city metrics. That honor goes to Lynchburg, Virginia, per a study done in 2017. I figured Lynchburg might be a little bit unreasonable of an arena for them, so we're going to go with Indianapolis.
Right?
Okay.
Should have been your
Random
fun
spawn
fact.
locations. There's no people, but everything is roughly in place. Like, let's consider a rapture situation, but the bus doesn't crash into traffic light, and the power plant doesn't immediately melt down. That sort of thing. So it's a 7-day closing zone. Who wins here?
How smart
wins
is
this one, Ryan?
Colossus?
Average human intelligence. Marvel has not released an official IQ score, but he is considered average.
I'm trying to figure out if he would think to go for acid, because the acid is readily available.
Yeah,
Correct.
if they don't know their opponents, that does give the T1000 a advantage. His learning ability, he would be able to
Yes.
read it more.
And if Cyclops does know the weaknesses of the T1000, hydrochloric acid.
You say
He said
Cyclops?
Cyclops. He said
Sorry.
Cyclops.
Sorry, Colossus.
Cyclops would easily beat the
Cyclops would
T1000.
destroy this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
Unless he
that-
got jumped. That's the only thing. Because he is, I think, fairly human in his
average
defenses.
intelligence.
So
no, let's not go on
Tommy,
that.
you and I fully agree. It depends on if Colossus can trace to that conclusion.
Yeah.
He
I think
will
heat
be
is going to
able
be the
find it.
harder one to actually manipulate to
Problem
get
is,
to.
Indianapolis does have a steel mill outside of the city limits. It is 25 miles outside of the city center. It is
The fight
one
happens
main
in
freeway.
Birmingham
Those
now.
lowly steel
City
mill
limit.
workers.
So yeah, I think this completely depends on if he can find like an industrial acid.
Some HCl,
Yes.
yeah.
So I think I actually placed this one as a win for Colossus because of one of two things. He has a week to either trial and error or research that with average human intelligence, and he will have the resources to accomplish that.
Yeah, I'm
T1000,
just trying to think, would I be able to figure this out?
By the way, guys, Todd is actually in the chat saying peak.
What's up, Todd? That's good, because I wanted him here because I've claimed to be a fan of Colossus, which, yes, there is mild bias here. I have no love of the T1000, but I do like Colossus a lot. He's my
What?
favorite expert.
You don't
Are
love
any one of
evil
us-
robots?
Are any one of us huge Terminator fans?
I'm actually the 1500 model in the third movie is my favorite personally.
I know I ain't seen
So
that one.
I also looked into it. There is no major Marvel hero or villain group actively operating out of Indianapolis. So there would not be any Marvel style materials or weaponry for the T1000 to acquire. So similar to the arena, the T1000 is going to be armed with
Yeah, no adamantium. He
Howitzer.
could just grab because adamantium would canonically be able to cut through it.
There's no adamantium vibranium resources in Indianapolis because there are no major
Gosh darn
heroes or villains that operate out of there. So
I still
because
think-
of that,
Go ahead.
I think because of that, I gave the win to Colossus because he has additional resources that can kill the T1000.
Yeah, and the
Whether
T1000
he
doesn't have a way to
knows
kill
how to do it or
Colossus.
not. The T1000 has the exact same amount of resources as it did in the arena, and that was a wash for it.
Yeah. I think the big thing is we still don't really know how much force he can take. So like
Yeah.
if if something like I'm going to go very historical. If Terminator was able to generate a Becta-Corbin, which is a very small hammerhead meant specifically to crunch through armor, we know it's dense. We don't, but if it's coming in at 100 and with leverage maybe 200 tons, we don't know what that could be.
And that is actually a really good point, because the fact that the T-1000 can change its density and also has superhuman intelligence, there is a potential, and I think the odds are probably 99-1. And again, because we don't, it's theoretical because we don't know Colossus's limits.
Yeah, we know he can take a howitzer shot. We don't know
yeah.
what beyond that he can take.
Yeah.
And there is a difference between a piercing and a concussive force, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the howitzer is not a
yeah
flying sky needle that's gonna hit him from above.
Yeah.
You get a tiny point on. Yeah.
Right.
Because it could, because we do know it can change its arm to a small point, so it theoretically could.
And also, to go into that realm, I was wondering if the T-1000 could sort of what is it, Star Trek style, get inside his ear, but he has an eardrum and everything is organic osmium. So
yeah, okay,
got you. Open play.
Yep. So we're gonna have this battle on Earth because both of them originate from Earth. They will spawn in lore-friendly areas. So for the T-1000, I'm going to consider that LA because that's where we first see it appear. And then I'm going to say it's Winchester County, New York for Colossus, because in his hero Colossus form, he operates with the X-Men, and that would be in Winchester County. There will be no limit on space or time. That asterisk is actually for that last bullet point there. No limit on space or time, but you can't let them die of old age. You cannot be fighting an old man. Colossus, as far as I know, I apologize, I actually did not look this one up. I think he has a relatively standard lifespan when in his organic form, or when in his human form. I do believe he ages differently when he is transformed. So there is that. The T-1000, however, has a 120-year battery life without charge. That does not state how long it could go if it gets charged.
Interesting. So who do you have winning this one? We'll let you, so we can kind of get into the last segment.
This one, I think, it's far more straightforward. The T-1000 has extended periods of time with its skills of infiltration to research and acquire the necessary weapons. And then, because the potential danger zone is global, get Colossus at any time that it would.
I'm trying to think of superheroes that are in LA. I think it's Ironheart, Daredevil, or not Daredevil. Daredevil and She-Hulk.
Superheroes, and then you said Ironheart in the same sentence.
I mean, if we're going to call Iron Man a superhero,
there's a
sorry.
The Defenders. No, not the Defenders. Not the Defenders. What is it? There is a there's a West Coast Avengers. They are a thing, but there is another group that operates off of the Pacific line. Do not recall who they are at this moment. Todd in the chat might be able to help us out with that one.
Yeah, you got anything, Todd?
Todd also said you were slandering X-Men, Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was referring to.
I have no idea.
I don't either. I think I've been fairly canonically faithful here.
I don't know. That's why we need Todd here, so he can tell you why he slandered.
That's right. So he can try and gaslight me.
I don't think we're going to get to the historical segment because we are 5 minutes till 10.
Oh my.
Yeah.
You can't get through 16 slides in 5 minutes.
Let's give it a try.
Okay. We don't have to. We could just
let's blitz it.
All right, we're blitzing. All right, quickly give a
Battle of Canae. At this point, this is the largest battle in the Roman Empire. I
was just going to quickly say,
Roman Republic.
If we wanted to do the pitch and save this for the beginning of next time, we could. But
we won't have the Warhammer lists to go over next time.
This
might be a good replacement.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do our pitch.
I know you're excited.
I'm sorry. This is great.
This is a preview for next week.
Yeah.
Or not next week,
Battle of
next
Canae,
month.
and that is all you get.
Yeah.
That's all you get. He's going to talk
Okay.
about a battle.
Luke, you were
and it's gonna be-
excited about the pitch. What you got?
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay, so I think this works great because basically the pitch is we're going to give a quick elevator pitch of a TV show or a movie or something that the other guys haven't seen and try to convince them Shark Tank style. So my pitch is a TV show that we've been watching and it's called Silo. Have you guys seen Silo?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll give you my pitch. I wrote it down. If you're looking for a smart sci-fi mystery, Silo is one of the best shows on TV right now. It takes place in a massive underground bunker where the last 10,000 people on Earth believe the outside world is uninhabitable. Everyone lives by strict rules, and asking the wrong questions in this bunker can get you sentenced to death, which is going outside in this scenario. This is a punishment no one has ever survived. The story follows an engineer who starts uncovering secrets that make her question everything she's ever been told. It's a very slow burn based off of 3 books, mystery with incredible world building, constant twists, and characters that feel real and you fall in love with from the beginning. Every episode reveals just enough to keep you guessing, and when you think you figured it out, the show completely changes the game. If you enjoyed the shows Severance, The Last of Us, or I'm sorry, there's only 2 I had, The Severance or The Last of Us, then and you like the idea of having that feeling of, oh, I'm just going to watch one more episode, then this is a show worth watching.
Nice.
I'm
Does
a
it make you
little
guys-
surprised you did not mention Fallout because it kind of sounds like the plot of Fallout.
Little bit,
Totally.
not really.
It's just what
Is
came
that
to mind.
Both are, yeah.
Yeah, I guess in a little bit. It's a little bit more. I feel
What-
like Fallout's goofy. This is it does not have a goofy vibe to it at all.
Gotcha.
Stream on.
It streams on Apple TV.
Oof.
Well, okay. Regardless of that, does that kind of make you want to watch it based off of anything I've said?
I would
Yes,
watch.
but I would not stop what I'm currently watching to pick that one up.
Fair.
I would probably watch it as a background show. I don't. Maybe it would make me change it to a full.
Really?
I mean, I watch most of my shows in the background while I'm doing something else.
Understandable. I will say it's one of those shows that which I really like, where like small details end up becoming important. So like stuff you would not really
It is
think
nice.
about if you weren't picking up on it, and then later you're like, oh, that meant something. I really like that. So it would be hard for me for it to be a background show because I really like to pay attention in those to figure out what's going on, but to each their own.
Mine's
Ryan, will you go
pretty
next?
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I unfortunately did not have a good script laid out. I put most
Me
of my time, effort, and energies and away from work into the character clash. So I was thinking back for the people who don't know me, which is most of y'all. I am what I call functionally illiterate. I have not read a good book since high school, save for our good friend Todd's fantasy series.
Check it out on Amazon.
That's right. Most of my literary titles will be YA style. Have either of y'all read Artemis Fowl?
I've not.
Have not.
So Artemis Fowl, it is young adult to possibly young teenager style fiction. It is following the life of a Irish boy whose father has gone missing. He is actually a very part of a very wealthy family, and he is also a boy genius. And in this world, there is a fantasy element to it where there are fantasy creatures such as elves, centaurs, dwarfs. They have a little bit of a different take on it, where it is an underground society. Have y'all seen Bright? It was a
No.
movie that kind of mixed the modern world with fairies. So there's an underground society of these fairies. They're actually more technologically advanced than the above ground humans. And Ireland happens to be one of those points where the wall between the worlds is a bit thin. They are physically underground, but there are a lot more entry points there. And so he actually believes that they are the ones that took his father, and he goes on a journey to try and bring his dad back while interacting with this world that nobody else believes exists, through very clever ways. And this is an 8-book series. There's a small trilogy following that's some other characters that go along, but Disney did turn it into a movie adaptation. The first book, the movie adaptation was okay. I personally like it because it combines sci-fi and fantasy in terms of the technology that's available with some of the creatures that exist.
What's the movie called?
Artemis Fowl is the series.
Gotcha. Could maybe watch it, or
I
I don't
might-
know if I would
yeah.
read it.
I don't know. Yeah,
Audiobooked it when I
Hmm.
was in
It's on
freshman
Spotify.
year,
I might listen to it.
sophomore year of high school. I would do the audiobook. There's
yeah. If it's
there's
like
a
a
good
free audio
voice
book,
actor
I
for that.
might. But fairies aren't my thing. Sorry,
Just
I wanted to say that.
They're mine. That's not gonna. You're not insulting me.
Understandable. Yeah, I think if it was like a free audiobook on Spotify, I would check it out on a road trip, especially.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll close it out with a book series and TV show. They recently adapted it into a TV show, also young adult. But I do think it's pretty gritty, at least the show. It doesn't necessarily come across in the book as much. And that's the series. The series is called Where Worlds. The TV show is called The Wolf King. It's on Netflix. So the premise is that there's these kingdoms of and the leaders of each of these kingdoms is what's called a were-lord. And basically there's the one city where the leader is a were-bear. There's were-stags, were-sharks, but basically a were-lion has taken over the whole empire. And the character finds out that his family used to be part of the old kingdom, and he is in fact descended from the old king, Wergar, who's the werewolf lord. And it's actually really good character development. Pretty gritty, does a good job of representing the characters and making you actually care about even the side characters. It's got some interesting like necromancy stuff in it as well. It's got an interesting magic system, in my opinion. And the show is a really interesting animation style. I liked it a lot.
That
First of all,
I almost hate to admit is very enticing.
agreed. Also, sorry I laughed. The word werebear will forever be funny to me. So
I was wondering
apologies.
what the joke was that I missed.
It wasn't a joke. It's just he said werebear, and he looked almost as if we were going to react. And I might have misinterpreted, but he said werebear and like kind of paused and looked at us.
I knew I could get Ryan with the werebear.
Yeah.
The were-stags were my
What makes
favorite
it
characters.
were?
Yeah,
Like what makes
okay.
it were? What gives it that pre?
So in the where I think is old Germanic for wolf, or closely related to wolf, which is
Oh, then yes, that's interesting. I would be enticed.
Wolf bear.
I have a hard time committing to reading stuff. I sporadically read, but I would.
I think the
check out
first
show.
book is free on Spotify. I haven't been able to find the second one.
Now listening to a book is a lot easier.
But the show is pretty good. I think it's got 2 seasons so far.
Oh, nice. And you said it's animated?
Yeah, it's like it's not claymation, but it's almost claymation animated. But it's got
You
interesting
lose me
light.
if it's claymation.
It's not
Yeah.
claymation. It's
I'm
but
back out.
it's got interesting lighting effects when they transform. Basically, their eyes glow, and as they do these action fight scenes, the light trails follow them. It's interesting.
I like-
But that's the end of our podcast. We were able to ramble on for 2 hours, remarkably easy.
Shocking nobody. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
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 Does anyone have any questions in the chat before we close this out? We'll give just a couple of minutes. Todd has not
Plus,
said
your name
anything
is
since.
Todd, and we're seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, he has not said anything about
No.
X-Men slander.
Todd can ask a question if he needs to.
All right. Well, I
He's
ain't seen nothing, so we will we'll close it out here. Thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next month for the next podcast.
Appreciate
See
it.
y'all next time.